Oh my God, can I just say, even though you're 5,000 pounds, you look amazing. You look so good. You look really good. You look great, actually. I think you look really good and hot. Actually, it's not despite being 5,000 pounds, it's because you're 5,000 pounds that you are attractive. I'm attracted. I'm attracted to you because you're obese. So let it be known. Let it be known that I'm attracted to you because you're obese. Because you are obese, I'm hard. Let it be known. For Dickie. I have had it up to here with obese people. Okay, let me rephrase that. I have had it up to here with these obese influencers who are delusional about the world. And it's not all of them, okay? It's not all of them, but it's some of them. There's a big trend of fat acceptance over the past few years that began as just a way to say, hey, maybe we should treat fat people as humans too. And I support that, okay? They are human, to my understanding. However, the movement has turned into a belief that being medically obese is actually healthy. It's good for you guys. Being 500 pounds, there's nothing wrong with that. It's fine. You should be as heavy as you want. It doesn't even matter. There's no health risk. Diabetes, heart disease. I hardly know her.
I do like mostly fashion stuff, like secondhand fashion, vintage stuff, and lifestyle.
What do you sell?
I don't really anymore. I started like my TikTok promoting my online vintage shop, and that's how I became a TikToker. And now I just like do fashion stuff.
Do you do it full time?
Yeah.
So your revenue comes from sponsorships?
Yeah, it's like all social media now.
I don't know, fashion makes like no money unless you're a thin white woman. So, so she's a thin white woman, so.
Yes, like attractive people are found attractive. Being skinny is seen as attractive by the majority of people. Some guys like curvy girls, some guys like girls who are a little chubby, some guys like women who are genuinely, 5,000 pounds. But obviously the guy who likes obese women is the exception, not the rule. And most women want to be thin instead of overweight. So if you're marketing clothes to people and you're trying to get, people to buy it, it makes sense you would put it on an attractive person versus an unattractive person. On Haley's Instagram over here, she has a lot of pictures linked where she's obviously, medically obese, and she got 75,000 followers for that. So clearly there are some people who are into that kind of thing, right? Like she's doing well, and it's for posting pictures, right? That's her content. But on Grace's TikTok, the girl that she's like, oh, you're a thin white woman, she has almost 800,000 followers, and so obviously more people in the world find her attractive. If you want to be overweight, and nobody can convince you out of that, that's totally fine. But don't complain about something you could obviously change when you're so stubborn about being overweight in the first place.
Being plus size in the social media industry is definitely been hard. There's visibly fat plus size people, and then there's people with the quintessential perfect curves. Like almost, unfortunately, how plus size are you?
Shocking revelation here, guys. The more overweight you are, the less attractive you'll be found. If you take a jacked or a skinny guy and compare them to an obese guy, obviously there's going to be a difference there in how people would rate them. And women never complain about that, by the way. They never complain about the fact that there are some men that are found less attractive than others. This is never a complaint. But then there are these overweight female social media influencers who are pissed off about the fact that people don't find them attractive. It's like, well, maybe if you put effort into your appearance, people would find you more attractive. If you avoid eating 5,000 calories of McDonald's a day, people might find you more attractive. I don't see how this is even something to complain about in any respect. And in a way, what she's stating is like a matter of fact, but the way she says it, she's clearly insecure and she's complaining about it. And she even delusionally believes that she makes more money than all of the people here, basically. She ranks herself at like the top of the totem pole. Everybody's like, oh, that makes sense. She thinks very highly of herself. She would rank herself as very attractive. And I think that a lot of people would find her more attractive, honestly, if she was able to lose weight. I mean, I don't think that's something you can even debate. She actually has a nice face. She seems tall based on this video, which is definitely an asset that a lot of men will like. Things could change, but she wants to be the way she is, and if she wants to, she can't complain about the circumstances around it.
You give me like, you have like 1 million followers on Instagram and you do like model shoots every single day, like fashion shoots. So
I want to put her in the middle.
I want to put her in the middle. Yeah, she definitely belongs in the middle as opposed to you. Clearly, in the highest tax bracket possible. Joe Biden has personally spent $60 million on Raytheon missiles with your money. Okay, you are contributing to the economy, to the war, and we thank you for your service.
I don't hate this lineup.
Yeah, I kind of think it's...
You think this is the lineup? Okay.
Dude, I'm sorry, but putting Grace below Haley, like in income, come on. What are we doing here, boys and girls, okay? Who led you to believe that this could in any way be the case? Like this, what I'm looking at on my screen is mind-boggling. Meanwhile, Teddy over here on the left, the one sane person in the room, is clearly perplexed by this decision. He cannot fathom that they chose this lineup somehow. He's giving them a watchful gaze. And then the explanation from people who defend this line of thinking is always like, well, I hate Chads, I hate bodybuilders, maybe stop taking steroids, it's not fair.
You're right, it was, 30 seconds ago and you can't remember it. That's good. Maybe get the steroids out of your system. That could be hindering your ability to think.
Haha, a steroid accusation. I love those. So he really thought he was roasting me here. When people try to roast me by saying I'm on steroids, what they don't know is that they're actually complimenting me, because the amount of work I've put into working out and dieting in the last year and a half is the reason for my dramatic body change. It's actually not steroids. So when you accuse me of being on steroids, that's a compliment more than anything. It means my hard work is paying off. So thank you, Jake. I appreciate it.
Believe it or not, weightlifting with steroids is still hard. Just because you take tests doesn't mean you will automatically get ripped. You still have to work out and put in the effort to the appearance. And you can get relatively jacked without even using roids. This guy Jake Doolittle is talking about here, that he's arguing with, is definitely pretty big, but he's not unattainable. He's not like shredded, like absolutely out of his mind. Like, he's got a very impressive physique, no knock to him, but he doesn't look like he's on steroids. He just doesn't. So to imply he needs steroids is dumb. Silly moment here for Mr. Doolittle. Ethan is a silly little guy. I actually used to always confuse Ethan is online with Jake Doolittle, which is why I just called him Ethan Doolittle, because his name is actually Jake. They're just like the same person, basically. So I just lumped them in. We have new merchandise, boys and girls. Yes, I know you're excited. It's here. It's a unique Y2K inspired design for all you goth baddies. It's double-sided. It's got Leave Me Alone on the back. On the front, it says Turkey Tom in death metal font, but you can't really tell. And that's why it's awesome, okay? This isn't just YouTuber merch. Nobody in public is gonna know you're watching videos about losers, creeps, and P words, okay? Nobody's gonna know. All they're gonna know is that you have this super swag shirt and you don't even have to explain it to anyone. But if you see a real one in public, they'll know. We've got a puff print on it, which means that the print basically sticks off of the shirt here. You can feel it, it's very textured and nice. My new merch is so icy, I had to put it in the freezer. It's so cold. It's just what I needed for the summer months. And included in every order, we also have a sticker you can stick on your laptop, girlfriend, dog, whatever makes you happiest, you got it. And if you want to get this shirt right now, you actually can get it on my website right here on Turkey Tom's shop. You can select whatever size you want. Shipping is not too expensive. We've made it pretty affordable. There's a very limited quantity, and once they're gone, they're gone. We're not doing this again. So, yeah. Grab them while they're here, before they're gone forever. Just like your mom.
So one affirmation that I like saying to myself is like, you are a delicious chocolate drop.
Ooh.
Your pussy is popping.
Ooh.
Your skin is hella juicy.
Ugh.
And you are sexy as hell.
Amen.
Amen.
A delicious chocolate drop, a delicious little drop of chocolate delight. Hey, we can all relate to that. I mean, I personally also feel like a delicious chocolate drop. I feel like an entire box even of Hershey's chocolate. Just look at me. You see that melanin, okay? You see that pigment? Tell me where I'm wrong, go ahead. I won't be listening. Jubilee did this video where they asked the question, is being fat a choice? And they got a bunch of people lined up to answer their thoughts.
Of course, not every factor is purely choice. And in most cases, for most people, being skinny or being fat is about willpower. It's about the environment you grow up in, sure. Who you choose to associate with, what sort of things you choose to listen to, who you choose to kind of have as your friends around you and support you. All of those things are choices that you can make that will lead you closer towards being one or the other.
And this is very true. Like, this dude who, let's be honest, could lose a little weight is aware of the fact that there are environmental factors. There are things like childhood, meaning the food your parents feed you and the diet they encourage you to have as a kid that can contribute to you being one way or the other. But as an adult, you make your own choices and you have to take responsibility for that. And the cope about this is always like, oh, well, I just don't have the money to eat healthy. It's impossible. But McDonald's is like undoubtedly pretty expensive. Like, to get a burger and fries and a drink now, you're gonna be paying $11. Pre-made meals at an average grocery store, on the other hand, are cheaper than that undeniably, like $6-7. And you know, you could always just cook. Foreign concept, I know. You can make your own food. You can buy eggs and bread and meat and cook that, and in the end, that's gonna be less expensive than going to get fast food. Unless you're traveling and have no time to cook, you know, you're on the road, and then fast food is like kind of necessary. Otherwise, the idea that fast food is fast or cheap is an illusion of your mind. It's faster to make scrambled eggs and toast at your house. And more cost effective.
I felt like as a toddler, I always viewed myself as big. Then I felt like once it reached a point where I was old enough to try to make my own choices, I made all of the wrong choices. I wasn't eating, and I was only eating like grapes and lettuce.
When you were eating grapes and lettuce, were you thin?
I was the thinnest I could be.
Were you still big though?
I was still big.
I'm sorry, but this is basically impossible. There's something not adding up here. There can be some genetics at play, but generally speaking, what you weigh is calories in, calories out. If you're eating a lot of food and not exercising, you will probably get fat. If you're not eating as much and you exercise, you will lose weight. There are some genetics at play, undoubtedly. Like an 18-year-old guy sometimes can just eat and like stay thin for a while, right? That will happen. But eventually, those metabolisms slow down, and if that guy has not developed good choices by then, he's gonna start to gain some weight in some areas and look overweight. So you have to make good choices at the end of the day. day. It's about choice. It feels like for a lot of people these days, personal responsibility has just gone out the window. They don't want to be held accountable. They want an easy explanation for their problems. They come up with any excuse they can muster to justify why they are the way they are. And if they instead try to change things that they can change, like to not eat trash and to work on themselves, then they would actually have to try. And people just don't want to put in the effort now. They want to rot in their own misery. You can't do that. It will absolutely destroy you. So from now on, let it be known that I am a plus size influencer, okay? I'm actually super fat, but I'm not the most oppressed group. That's the thing. That would be the infinifats. See, there are categories now that exist on a spectrum that you will respect. Bigot. Around 2017, the popularity of the word infinifat shifted the definition of super fat downward to refer to people between a women's US 26 to 32 covered by large fat. Some people prefer to use super fat with its original meaning, while others use it to refer to a specific size range. This generally depends on how they feel about the term infinifat. Something is going wrong. Something is horribly wrong on Facebook, okay? There are so many people who believe in this that they're writing entire articles about it, and they have Facebook groups. They carved out their own little corner of the internet where they can exist freely without judgment and science. Maybe that judgment, meaning basic medical advice, would break them from their chains and allow them to actually improve their lives, instead of thinking, oh, well, that's just how it is, there's no way around it. There is a way around it. You can change your life circumstances. You can lose weight. I've seen multiple people do it. They've gone from being fat to being thin. I've also seen people do it in reverse, and it's always a choice. And to any obese Tom Dark viewers out there, okay, let it be known that I love you and you can stay fat as long as you keep watching my videos. Thank you for watching. Bye.